Hello, I'm Charlize and today I'm going to be reviewing Ruby Red by Kirsten Gear. This is the first book in a trilogy and this is a time-traveling trilogy and I really enjoyed this, and this is going to be a spoiler-free review. The trilogy is called the Precious Gem Trilogy, the second book is Sapphire Blue and the third book is Emerald Green. And I have only read this one so far. I have ordered the second one because I really need it, and like it needs to come. I really wish I ordered both of them. But Book Depository doesn't sell this cover of the second book, only the first and the third one, which is really annoying, so I had to get it off a different website. Alright, this is the first time travel book I've actually read, and it was translated from German. So this story is set in London and it follows our main character Gwyneth, and she is in a family where a time-traveling gene runs through the female line of the family, and her cousin Charlotte has been training her whole life for this gene because it was predicted by Einstein, I think it was predicted by Einstein that it would be Charlotte that got this gene. So she's waiting and she's been training her whole life, and everything to do with time travel is kept a secret except for those who have the gene. So Gwyneth knows nothing, and what do you know, Gwyneth starts jumping backward and forward in time, and the only way for you to know if you have the gene is between your 16th and 17th birthday. You start randomly jumping backward forwards in time, and Gwyneth ends up time traveling and not Charlotte, and Charlotte's not very happy about this because her whole life has been centered around training for this gene. She's been missing out on school, taking fencing lessons, all sorts of funkiness like that, learning how to speak properly in different eras, and Gwyneth knows nothing, so she's a bit screwed, just a bit. I thought that the idea for this book was really good. I am so excited for the next books. It's really short. That's kind of another thing. I feel like we just got rolling and then we just stopped. We just stopped. The book just ended just when it was getting good. Like, I was all ready. I was like, yeah, this is really good. I just got used to the writing and everything. We just stopped. I thought that the time travel itself was done really well in this book, because I can see how time travel can get really confusing if it's not explained properly, if it all happens too fast, but this never got confusing. It was done in a really simple, and it made sense how it was done. There is a tiny little bit of romance in this book, not much at all. I am thinking that this romance is going to develop more in the other two books though. The male character in this book is called Gideon, and he comes from another family where this gene runs down the male line, and the reason why it's called Ruby Red is because there's this thing, and there's this whole secret that gets unlocked with Gwyneth, because she's the last one to time travel. She's the 12th one, and she's the ruby, and then there's other gems that signify each person that time travels, and I'm a bit hazy on that part, and I got a bit confused with that, but it's all really interesting. Really enjoyed the characters in this book. Gwyneth herself is really funny, and she's like a typical teenager. She's a teenager, and you can tell. And her best friend Leslie, I loved Leslie. I think I liked Leslie more than Gwyneth. It's Gwyneth's best friend, and you can tell they're best friends. Like, there are no secrets there. Gwyneth isn't meant to talk to anyone about the time traveling, and she tells Leslie. And it kind of surprised me that Leslie was so believing. Like, it was easy for her to believe it. She didn't even question it. You can just tell that they're best friends, and Leslie just goes all out and researches every single thing. A lot of thought went into this premise. Like, for instance, Gwyneth has her own designer that has to like put together her clothes for when she travels back in time, because you have to look the part. And so this clothes designer makes her like this fancy hat, and Gwen's like, why do I need a hat? Like, don't you think that's a bit over the top? And she like points to Gideon, and she's like, he doesn't have a fancy hat. And then she's like, just wear it, and then she takes it off, and it's great. So basically the reason why I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars was, like I said, the writing, and it was also a bit short, and I feel like the ending didn't go out with a bang. It was a good ending, but it wasn't like, whoa, it didn't feel like it was the end. I feel like they could have kept going there for like another 50 pages at least maybe, or even 20 pages. But that's why I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. And the last thing I'm going to mention is that when you read the prologue, you're confused as hell. You don't know what the hell they're talking about in the prologue. But then when you read the epilogue, it all comes together. Like, I read the prologue, didn't take anything in, like didn't know what was going on, so I just kind of ignored it, kept going. Then I read the epilogue, and then I was like, oh my gosh, this is, oh, and then I went back and read the prologue, and if you've read this, you know what I'm talking about. So I had to go back and read the prologue. That kind of was, I like how that was laid out. It was kind of like a circular kind of structure, like, it's like, wait, like, the whole book, I thought that was going to be like a loose end, and then you get to the epilogue and it's like, oh, closure. That is all I have for my review of Ruby Red. Let me know in the comments below if you read it, and let me know what you thought about it. Are you going to be continuing with the series? Do you think you will pick up this book? I will definitely be continuing with the series. Like, as soon as Sapphire Blue gets here, I'm reading it. I am that excited. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!